So I've been with the Players Association for December will be 8 years, actually. So it's been a long time. I'm the Deputy General Counsel there. So I handle or play a role in almost all legal affairs. The biggest thing we do is a collective bargaining agreement. We just signed a new deal a few months ago. So that was a big achievement. But in addition to that, it's really all legal matters. So on court, if a player gets in trouble, as their union lawyer, it's my job to represent them. But most importantly, off court. If a player has a family issue, they can call me anytime, day or night, and I'll help them. Either my experience is in criminal law, I was a prosecutor for many years, so I can help them directly with that. Or if I can't, I help find a lawyer for them. And in addition, we do that for other services. If a player wants to open a franchise, we'll look at the legal documents for them. If a player needs to do like a child custody issue, we help them with that. Whatever, as a union, it's like full service. Whatever they need, we try and provide the services. You know what was interesting? People have never heard this, but I think it's very similar to working at the prosecutor's office, being a prosecutor, because there my job was very clear. My job is like, if someone committed a crime, you prosecute them. If they didn't, you don't prosecute them. So it was like I felt as though I was on the right side. Here, I feel like I'm on the right side. Right? I think it's like you have these athletes that are tremendously talented, and to be the best at what they do, they're so focused that they need help in all these other things, right? And they're working in an environment where management is understandably looking out for management. And when there's so much money on the table, and management has so many resources, the players need so many resources. And so it's just, it's very rewarding helping them achieve their goals.
Almost like giving back to a sport, and I think that's
absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, I ran in college. I still do a lot of triathlons, so I understand the athlete mentality. Like even before working here, I've known many professional athletes, so I've seen what it takes. Like I'm never good enough to do it, but I can see other people do it.
You can support it.
I can support. Yeah, so I'd say the biggest thing really is just the increase in services we provide, right? And that grows over time, like more and more services and more awareness of the difference between the players and the league, right? The average fan, sometimes they don't understand that there's actually a separation, right? Like the league actually works for the teams, we work for the players. And just because the league says something, that doesn't mean that's the player's opinion, right? And so it's our job to let the world know, the players, they have their own opinion, they have their own voice. And over time, we've just been able to do that more and more. So whether it's like social justice issues, whether it's issues like now mental health has really become a very prominent topic. And I think I would like to think that as a union, we've helped players create a platform to talk about these things. We have a very robust mental health services program. I think the biggest thing that we've changed over the last 75 years is just growing up and maturing and providing more and more services for players. I am, as a lifelong tennis fan, I'm so thrilled that you guys are doing this because, like, look, I remember, I saw Martina Navratilova play. It was a great era. Stefan Edberg, Yvonne Lendl. So I've really understood from the beginning how hard it is to be a professional tennis player. I mean, just the simple math of the tennis player has to pay for all of the coaching, the hotels, the services, the food. I mean, it's really hard to make money. And so I think there's so many things you guys can do, and I'm sure you're going to achieve all of them. But one that I think is awareness, right? You got to get to all the players and get them to understand even what a union is, right? Like, if you were to ask, and we're in DC, if you were to ask people here what a union is, probably 25% wouldn't even know. And we're in DC. Now imagine if you're in Bosnia, or you're in some other Eastern European, or somewhere else in the world. They don't have a history of unions. So you have to overcome that. I think it's going to be important to point out just the value the union can bring, like to be the voice against issues that are bothering the players, but they're too focused on work, or they're too ashamed or too afraid to use their voice, right? So you can raise that, whether it's about an unfair drug testing program, or the travel schedule, or lack of post-career opportunities, or health insurance, or nutrition, training facilities, cost of travel, right? Like, for example, I mean, if you think of all the traveling that all tennis players and the whole tennis ecosystem does, there should be like a discount.
52 weeks in a year.
Right? Like, there should be a discount, right? Like, maybe there's a way to go to several different airline partners. And so if you're a member of the union, or you're a member of a player's training staff, you get 10% off, right? Like, those are the ideas that players don't have time to do that. As a union, like, that's what the union is supposed to do. So I think we've done it in two ways. The first way is we have negotiated with the league to get the league to provide some of these services, right? So, for example, there's a standardization of the hotels. It has to be like 5-star hotel that the players stay at. The quality of the food that the players receive, the quality of the transportation. It all has to be at a very high standard, right? And that's important because it takes away the choice of some management, because some owners aren't going to want to pay the money. Some will. And in order to really create a competitive environment, so all the teams have a shot, you want the standards to be the same. So one is really pushing the league to raise standards. And then two is ourselves taking on the responsibility. So, for example, one of our longest running programs, we have a broadcasting program. So because we realize lots of players, when they retire, they want to go in broadcasting or journalism. So we've had it, and there are countless graduates that are now on-air personalities. So we've done that. We realize that players are very interested in entrepreneurship or real estate. We have a real estate symposium. So we'll take them to certain major cities, introduce them to builders, and they learn like the financing and the ideas behind like building a high-rise or building some condos. We have a tech summit where players are very interested in the latest sports technology. We have the leaders in that field come to them. We created it's called One Court Milan. We take our players to Milan in Italy, and we have them meet with some of the latest designers. The players now are very much into fashion.
Yeah.
They're all in New York for Fashion Week, and London and Paris, and so we realized that's an interest. So we combine the interest with the resources. And look, sometimes we have 10 players, sometimes we have 20. We don't have 200, right? Because we don't force the players to do anything. But as a union, you provide the opportunities. Some players take advantage, some players don't. But like that's our job. It's to remind the players that, I mean, I don't know, maybe you play 10 years or so and you make a decent amount of money, but if you retire at 35, you still have a long life to live, hopefully, right? And so you're going to need to find something to do with your time. Even if it's not like necessarily highly lucrative, how are you going to spend your time, right? Are you interested in volunteer work, philanthropy? We can help you with that. Do you want to go back to school? We can help you with that. Are you interested in a certain type of business? We can help you with that. So that post-career education and services, that's very near and dear to our heart. I'm concerned about that a lot because where I sit, whenever there's a league investigation and they want to talk to a player, like I'm the lawyer they call, I have to contact the player. And so what's happened now is like we've done a good job of education, so players can't bet on NBA games, G League games, W games, no NBA properties. So we do the education, but players, we do allow, recently in the CBA, players are now allowed to do endorsement deals with betting shops because we figured now this has become legal everywhere, they should be able to make some money. So we do that. But we are concerned that like at some point in time, a player is going to be falsely accused and it's going to get out, and it's going to ruin their reputation. And when the truth comes out, it's going to be too late. So
it's important to work with the players, not against them.
Absolutely. So to me, those are some of the issues that like us collectively as unions we should always be talking about and get to the table and discuss strategies so we can have like a uniform idea going forward. Tennis is interesting because you do kind of have like a dampered enthusiasm at times. Like you can cheer, but not too much. A player can get excited, but not too much. And I mean, I think there should be a loosening up of that. Like there should be no offense taken because because I'm excited, that means I'm trying to insult you. I'd say that shouldn't be the case at all. One thing that you guys have started that I think is a good idea. Like I think there should be more coaching. I think players should be allowed, yeah, like why not? Like why can't you talk to your coach? I'd say that. I think there should, like, I've never played at the professional level, so I don't quite understand the sensitivities around fans moving around. But I'm like, in baseball, if someone can hit like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and it's loud and noisy, you might be able to hit a tennis ball with a couple people moving around. So that'd be my one little thing. But I'm very much pro player. So if the players don't want it, then everyone needs to keep quiet and sit down.
David, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.